Thanks, James, and good morning, everybody. Today, I would like to divide my talk into two parts. First part is to illustrate how our office is understanding the current situation of society and the city, because a skyscraper is the product of the city. So unless we have clear vision how the society and the city is changing, then where to heading. And that's then we are having like a lot of new idea about future city, future society as well. Then on the later part, I would like to show some of our project, how we are materializing this concept in each project. So age of city, what globalization actually did is the change of the idea of the distance and time. So the globalization gave us more opportunity to move around the world, to create a new accessibility for the different city physically. So that's actually changing the meaning of the city as well. The sum of the city can attract more people, get more population. So they are getting more people, more talent, also like creating new value, also like a new innovation by itself. So they are changing its meaning by itself. So it's coming from like two major innovation. One is the change of the transportation system. So many of you here also like came to Shanghai today by the airplane. So every time we got a new transportation system, from walk to carriage, the ship, car, train, we got a new speed to move. So that's also changing dramatically the idea or understanding of the space and distance. So that gives us more freedom to access to different locations. It's dramatically expanding this field. So now we are choosing the place to go, place to work, place to live. We are choosing the city. So another one which we having now is a revolution in the information technology. The information was quite limited in the previous age, only for the people to access it. But now we got many information by free, which can help us to remove lots of barrier or obstruction when you change your living environment. So that's also giving us more freedom to think where to go, where to live. So that's revolution, innovation. It's making a new map in the world. It's showing more the connection, more relationship clearly between cities. Of course, these cities, this new circulation, moving many people every single day, that's also reactivate local circulation as well. So many people, again, moving into the city, then some of the city has to change the meaning. So as Ore was saying, like, it's not about some central iconic building, but like we need lots of normal building which somebody is designing to satisfy this new growing of the population as well. So now we believe we are in the era to rethink what is the vision of the future city. So as well. So our office trying to rethink, to restudy about what's happening, this kind of thing in the history of the architecture as well. So of course, like we have many kind of this experience in the history in different scale. For example, in the Industrial Revolution, of course, we gained the new speed of moving, of new transportation. So that brought many different people into the city. Because at the same time, the way of working in the society is also changing from hand to machine. So that brought many population into the city. But at the same time, that creates big social conflict with existing urban organization. It's the pollution or like a density or a bad living environment as well. So having this kind of conflict, the government or architects response to find a better solution in the different scale. Some is in the architecture scale, some in the social scale, some in the urban scale. The project by Ludo is clearly showing to providing better working and living condition to the worker can also improve the productivity of the society. So it was quite a big challenge in the architecture scale, we believe. The another one, of course, in the urban scale, the Garden City by Howard was trying to balance how we can have a city life with a good living environment. That creates a new vision of the city, which is suburbia now. So, but this kind of situation, this kind of innovation is also like by the support, by the development of the technology. So the innovation of the elevator gave architect or gave human being to have another perspective in the three-dimensional space to give us the easy accessibility to the vertical way. Also, like a precast concrete gave us the method to build a new land, new floor in the vertical space as well. So understanding of the social conflict, social problem, also like the possibility of emerging technology, also at the same time having clear vision about the future society or future city, then some architects came to the brilliant achievement or like idea to show how the building can be part of the future city as well. So this is Unity by Corbusier. We believe this is a very special project which architects show his imagination and understanding of the emerging technology, then create a new vision for the future. So this is like the kids playing on the Sky Garden. So this is quite new urban space, we believe. So also, when we got bigger, more population moving into the city, we got a challenge about the density. So the density we have two. One is in the plan. So it means we're gonna chop the surface into more small scale, which create another problem. But another way, we got higher density in vertical way, either going to the underground or going to the sky. So that's the balance between the desire to get more square meter in the limited space, it means in the city, also to get the better urban environment, create this kind of Manhattan urbanscape. So people go higher to get more square meter. So obviously this showing the skyscraper was not planned at the beginning of the city, but was invented to get more square meter in the city. So there are some architects, again, Corbusier, was trying to have a vision how the future city can work or can exist with the skyscraper together from the beginning to create a new urban space. So not only about the device to reproduce the typical floor to get more square meter or to get more FAR, to get more density, but like how the skyscraper can play a role to create a new urban space. But instead of having new vision of the future city, many of the city in the world employ the urban planning system of zoning, then cutting the city into the different sites, then giving the function, the office, residential, commercial, with different numbers. It's FAR or density, the distance, because it's much easier to control the city development. Then now what we see in the reality, everywhere in China, so this kind of like a zoning master plan, replacing the existing city with the grid system road, which is very efficient for the accessibility, then with different number or density or the FAR to create a very generic city everywhere. So after seeing that, we already know from the last century that this kind of approach, we cannot create a new Shanghai or new Beijing, which has more diverse the peoples or more complex urban space. So to make a city, we have totally different. Well, we have many aspects to control, to think about. The one side, but like we can divide into two parts. Like one side is about how we can control the cities, the growing, the development, is by using the number. It's like a size, like the light or like a density or FAR. Because it's more easy to design it. It's very easy. It's more easy to reproduce the image of the city. But on the other hand, we have another parameter. It's more related to the human, the comfortability or like natural ventilation or nature or community. So we are believing that now we are at the point, like we have to rethink how we're gonna balance, how we're gonna find the methodology to combine this kind of two things for to create, to update the future city. So in recent years, our office is pushing the concept. It's called Shanghai city. It's a mixture of the word of Shanghai and the modern city. So Shanghai is a word, the Chinese word. It's the balance between nature and the human living space. Because we are believing that in the future, the city of the future will be more crowded, have more population, get more dense. But like it's getting more complex, having more diversity, it's having lots of connectivity in different way. In this future city, we are believing the skyscraper is not only the point in the city or like a device in the city to get more square meter, to repeating the typical floor, but they gonna take a very important role in the city to create a new kind of urban space, and to create a new kind of energy in the city as well. So, so in the future, we're gonna walk under the skyscraper like we walk in the forest. But we believe in the future, the skyscraper is part of the natural environment more itself. So they can be more organic, more flexible for the change of the society as well. So considering this kind of understanding of the current society and for the future city, from here I'm going to show 7 projects which we are our office doing to show how we applying this kind of understanding concept into each project. So this is the one installation which we did at the very early stage of our office. It's a fish tank. When we start our office, we are having some goldfish in the office, putting them in the box, some transparent box. But when we are seeing them, we thought, just because we don't understand their language, but maybe they are saying they want to have better environment. They want to have a better house or something like this. Because when, at that moment, we are doing some design for the apartment, some apartment building, but we were struggling that we are designing the building without knowing who's gonna live there, who's gonna use it. So it's kind of a dilemma of the architect. So you always discuss with the developer who is not the user at the end. So it means at that moment we came to the point. So we architect has to kind of create our own interface to understand what's the social demand or what's the user want. So that's came to the point that so the fish is ourself, then ourself is a fish. So we have to understand what they want. So that's then we start taking picture every 10 seconds from side and top and front. Then when we give the food, how they respond. Then when we put another fish, then how they move around the space. Then we try to we put this the movement in the 3-dimensional diagram. Then we try to understand what kind of space they prefer. Then from that diagram, we start modifying this glass box, creating more dynamic space inside to create more space they prefer. So this project is showing like our attitude towards each project. We not like seeing the function or like typology, but we trying to understand what's really things happening, what things really want have the space. Then after that, like in 2006, we got one project in Toronto, in Canada. It's about high-rise building. So the challenge for this project was that because this high-rise building was not in the city context, but in the suburbia. So because we thought like a high-rise building is by the products of the city, it's a challenge of how we can get more square meter using the typical floor. But now we have like a high-rise building in suburbia, so it doesn't have so much pressure from the surrounding. So it means then what is the meaning of the typical floor? So we have to rethink again. So we try to use a very simple methodology to create a dynamic architecture together here. So we use this ellipse, the same outline of the floor, then rotating in different angle to create kind of like an urban dynamics to the site. So the local people, they saw this project, they start saying like, this looks like Marilyn Monroe, then twisting her waist, like dancing in it. So they quite liked this project. So then the client came back to us, then saying like, oh, now we want to make like a twin tower together. It's like always project. It's like a duo. So they came to us. They came to us. They're asking to design the sister of Marilyn Monroe because they liked it. So then first, but we said like we thought like this is a quite big challenge for us to have like a twin tower in the urban setting. So we try to make a little bit more muscular building to have like a comparison with female and male. But like a client keeps saying like nobody will buy the male. So you please make a little bit sister building. So this is at the end. So it's for us, like, it was important thing like to challenge what is the typical floor for the high-rise building to have like a different, new kind of meaning. The next project we are doing in Chongqing is one of the most dense city in the China, but we came back to the very city context. So we try to develop this kind of a challenge about typical floor. So it's like almost 400 meters. So we try to, so in the previous project, we couldn't make new space in the skyscraper, we believe. But like for this project, we try to break this point. So using the challenging the typical floor, we really try to introduce like a new human scale space in the skyscraper. So it's like a really change. We call it like urban forest. We try to introduce this like forest feeling into the skyscraper in the vertical city. So after that, we start like developing this idea about Shanghai city, how the skyscraper work in the city environment, not as like a single building, but as a more cluster, creating kind of a new urban environment. So this is a project in Guiyang. It's a new city CBD. We have several the different height buildings together, creating kind of like a new urban like garden space. Like, and in this project as well, we try to introduce like different scale of space, like in the mountain. So it's not like a mountain itself has different scale, but like people gonna find different space with different scale. So they're gonna start putting the meaning on it. So that's, we try to create this kind of, in this project as well. So we prepare totally different the scale, from urban scale to the human scale into this project. So they are forming like one central space. So developing this idea as well, it's another project which we do in Taiwan, Taipei. So they have very nice, comfortable, like street scale on the bottom of the building. So we try to introduce this street experience into the skyscraper as well. So each building, each tower has like 2 units of the apartment. So we bring this circulation in the skyscraper to the outside. Then they're going to have more complex space in the building. So this is another project which we are doing in Beijing. It's under construction. Just in front of the one of the biggest park in Beijing, it's Chaoyang Park. So for this project, we try to extend the green space from the city park. Then also we try to introduce kind of like a Chinese garden experience, because we believe like a Chinese garden or like Oriental garden, every time you go there, you're gonna see different things. You're gonna feel different emotion. So that's we try to introduce into the city experience as well. So on the bottom, you have a very nice green space. Then we have 3 different buildings basically. One is high-rise building with office building. Then one is commercial on the bottom. Then another middle-rise with residential project. So on the bottom, you have more complex green space, and that won't give us clear vision for the tower. So tower become part of the environment, part of the background as for the project. So this is the commercial part. Then we're using this kind of approach to another project as well, which we're doing in Nanjing, very close to the south station of Nanjing train. So we have like for this project, we have a quite huge urban site. It's like a 200 by 800. Having like 10 different skyscraper, almost like every tower is like 100 meters, with office space to the residential, to the commercial, the culture, hotel. So for that, we try to use this bottom, like create a new urban space, like which is like a village under the mountain, and to create inviting like people come here, but like not seeing the building as building, but it's part of the environment. So we trying to create new urban space in the different height, not only the podium level, but also the tower space as well. So because we believe that in the future, skyscraper will take a very important role to create new kind of urban space in the city. So not about more efficiency, not about only the square meter, but like people gonna see different meaning on the skyscraper or in the city. So we believe this in the rapid development of Chinese city. In our age, we're gonna see some city gonna show some hint for the future city, which is gonna be more organic, more complex, more diverse. Then inside of this city, we're gonna see some skyscraper. It's showing the different meaning from previous age, but showing the more different urban space on it. Thank you.